Hey everyone, Golden Ninja 3000 here again, and today I have a look at my custom Hall of Armor set. Now I said custom like that because it's not actually custom. This was an official LEGO set that they released in March 2019 for the Avengers Endgame wave. So what I did was I bought two sets and then I stacked them on top of each other and just did a little bit of modification to get all of the armors fitting in their own slots. And I do plan on updating this more, but for today I just wanted to show you my collection of armors as well as some others that I have that don't completely fit in with this. All right, so we'll start things off with just looking at the side things really quick. This is obviously Dummy. As you can see, I have him holding the Mark V suitcase from the Malibu Mansion Attack set. And I never reviewed the Hall of Armor set, which is just why I wanted to show you guys these couple side things. Pretty self-explanatory for him. And then this is the Mark 38 armor. It was what a lot of people thought would be the Hulkbuster, but it ended up being something else entirely. Its name was Igor, and LEGO made it in the actual set, except a lot of people don't really like it, myself included. It's pretty chunky, and you can see it uses the Mixel style ball joints, so there is a lot of articulation on it, and it is really cool because you can just open up the front to put a minifigure in. But this is just kind of odd because we never saw it hold a minifigure in the movie. I don't know if it can actually... Sorry, we never saw it hold a person in the movie. And I don't know if it can actually hold a person, in the MCU. And getting, a molded head or something would have been a lot better because this looks nothing like the front of an Iron Man helmet, although that print is nice. So yeah, just wanted to take a quick look at that before we get into the actual Hall of Armor itself. All right, so here's the Hall of Armor itself. Before we get into the main section with obviously all of the armors, I just wanted to show you guys how this entire build works, again, because I didn't actually review it. So each of these little containment sections are separate modules that can be detached, if I don't break it, hopefully. So yeah, so they can be detached. As you can see, I've just stacked a couple on top of each other to create this design. All I had to do was remove these fence pieces, and then they're pretty much designed to just stack right on top of each other, which is really nice. I'm glad LEGO made an actual set of this that we can easily modify to fit our collection of armors. And so all you have to do is snap every module into place. Let's see if I can do it without breaking anything. And basically, you can arrange this in any way you want. You can spread it out more like that. You can tuck it in. You can even rotate it around the other side. So you could have them all facing outwards like a little tower if you wanted. So I really like that that level of customization that they offer. So I like keeping mine like this because it's most like the movie. And then there are also these little modules at the base. So removing this is obviously Tony Stark's desk. You have some screens. You can see Coulson is trying to call him on that one. And then there's just that's like the thing that he pulled up for Jarvis, like the big CGI thing that Ultron attacked in Age of Ultron. I don't know how to describe it, like an energy ball. But yeah, so this is a really nice little workstation, a lot like the one in the Malibu Mansion Attack set. And then as you can see in the middle here, I have Tony himself. Let me just detach that. So I have Tony. This is the minifigure from the Avengers Tower gift with purchase set back in April 2019. So it's him mid suited up into the Mark 7, I believe, from Avengers 1. Actually, I'm not 100% sure because it could also be the Mark 43 from Age of Ultron in the scene where he fights Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver in Avengers Tower because he's trying to create Vision. Because the helmet is the Mark 43 one, but then the box had the Avengers 1 promo and it had a picture of the Mark 7. So a little bit of debate about that figure, but basically this is just the suit up gantry, so you can completely spin him around. And I really love this figure. I chose to put him in the middle here because it looks like he's in the middle of unsuiting. And then there's a little fire extinguisher on the side, and these arms can rotate all around and they can be bent and everything. So yeah, so you can really pose this up however you want to make it look like they're taking the armor off of Tony. So that's why I like having him in the middle, just because, it makes him look like he just landed. And now we can get into the main Hall of Armor build. All right, so as you can see, I spread this out a little bit more so I can show you guys everything that's in here better. These satellite dishes on top, as you can see, all of these things were just created basically to fill space on top and in the empty suit holders. So this is another example of one of those small modules, just holding some tools. so that Tony can work on his suits. And then down here, this thing actually broke, but you can see that's just like a juicer. And then there's this little workbench, and I have Tony's hair sitting there because that's what they did in the set to hold his hair if you had his helmet on while he was unsuiting. And then I just have like the Mark 50 torso there, like he was in the middle of working on a suit. So I really like having those little filler sections there because it's super easy to just pop them off and replace them with suits in your own custom thing. But in the actual set, they just provided a nice little, they just provided nice filler. Otherwise, the haul would have looked really empty in the actual set. So we'll start off up top. As you can see, I have all my War Machine figures up there. This is the Mark II from Iron Man 3. This is Iron Patriot, which is the same suit, just repainted. I'm not sure which version this is. It's from Civil War, but I don't know what suit it was. I don't know if it says it on the actual figure. I don't think it does, but I think it's like the Mark IV or something, because I believe he was on 6 and 7 in Endgame. So then this is his suit from Infinity War. This was part of the Bricktober pack. If I can just get it to focus there. So yeah, so this was part of the Bricktober pack, and it was the first one with printed arms. Don't know why that took me so long to say. And okay, this one says Mark IV on it. So I don't actually, so then I guess the Civil War one must be Mark III. I mean, I guess that makes sense. I don't know. Sorry, I don't pay a lot of attention to War Machine suits. But yeah, this is a really nice figure. The Iron Man suits are always better with printed arms. Not that many of them get that extra level of detail. And I'm just going to flip this up real quick so you can see Rhodey's heads-up display. If, again, I can get this to focus. There we go. And yeah, so now... God, okay. This is my first time where I've had like focusing problems. And then I've got the Quantum Realm suit from Avengers Endgame. And that had a new helmet, but the body is just shared with all the other suits. And then getting into the main Iron Man section, I'll start from the left with the Mark I. All right, so I thought I'd zoom up a bit more and just kind of pass this along in front of the camera as we go through the suits. So here's the Mark I, obviously the first suit, the one that he built in the cave, and it is also the only MCU Iron Man suit to use like the flat front helmet that they made for the Invincible Iron Man figure from 2017. Rescue also uses it, as well as like the new hybrid suits coming out in the Avengers Tower battle set, but I'll talk more about those later. Here's the Mark V, obviously the suitcase armor. I really love the Iron Man suits that have silver in them. And as you can see, a lot of these suits don't have faces. The ones that came in the set were just meant to be like, you know, empty suits. This is the 6 and 7, both from the first Avengers movie. So that one has a black head underneath, and then that one actually has Tony's head. So yeah, a lot of the armors that I just threw in here, it's kind of a toss-up as to whether they actually have someone in there or not. Most of them do have a Tony head underneath there, I believe. Then right there, that's the Mark 17, the Heartbreaker. This is my favorite Iron Man minifigure and one of my favorite LEGO minifigures ever. This is the Mark 32 Silver Centurion. It was an exclusive with the Avengers video game in 2016, and as you can see, it's extremely detailed with like an extra armor piece, and then you have dual molded arms, and then printed legs, and then just more printed pieces. And the head was also unique, so you have Tony with a black eye, and then you have a smiling expression on the back. So yeah, I really love this figure. I think it's the best game exclusive figure they ever made. Then you just put him right back in there. And then, so speaking of hybrid suits, these guys are kind of hybrids because they're very, very similar to MCU suits. This is meant to be the Mark 37 Hammerhead, and then this is meant to be the Mark 39 Gemini. But what's weird is that, like, if this was actually going to be the Gemini, it would have a triangular arc reactor, and then I'm not sure about the differences on the Hammerhead, but I know that they snuck these into comic book suits, so they're very similar to MCU designs, but they're not exactly the same, and that's a lot like the new suits in the Avengers Tower battle set, because those two are named Blazer and Taser, yet they look a lot like the Marks, I don't know the numbers, but they look a lot like Blue Steel and Hot Rod from the MCU, so that's just an interesting thing. I think I will be including them in my Hall of Armor, but I'll talk more about expanding my Hall of Armor at the end of this video. And then right here, right off camera, is Bones Mark 40. So that's really awesome. I'm glad we have 40. So we have like 40, 42, 43, 44, all the way up through 50. So I really hope that they make the Mark 41 eventually. And something else you can see on the backs of some of these is there are stickered, if I take off the Mark 5, there are stickered like views of the armors on some of these. This is for the Mark 5, and then the only other one with a stickered back is Stryker, I believe, which is Mark 25. Oh no, sorry, there are two down here. I'll adjust the camera and show you guys that on the bottom right now. All right, so here's the bottom. So before we go through the suits, I'll just show you what I was talking about. So there are more details back there. And if we spin this thing around, it's actually a lot easier to see them. So there you can see the Mark 5. If I just raise that a little bit, you can see the Mark 5 piece. And then if you spin this around, it says House Party Protocol, and there's a bunch of suits being shown. I really hope we eventually get some. And then the only other one that's prominently shown is the Mark 25, which is the Stryker with like the big gauntlets on it to bust through things. So I think it's interesting that they showed it so strongly. A lot of people thought maybe they're teasing its inclusion, and I really hope they are, because apparently there is a $30 Hall of Armor set coming out this summer. So I really hope that one of the new armors in that set is the Stryker armor. So now, spinning this back around to the front, let's just look at these suits. This is the Mark 42 from Iron Man 3. Mine's a pretty well-loved figure. If I just get it to focus again, you can see the printing's kind of rubbing off on it. This was like my first Iron Man minifigure, and I really, really loved it. I still do. It has a lot of gold in it, which is unusual, because it's like the Iron Man suit with the most gold. But yeah, so that one's a little bit faded, not as pristine quality as all of the other suits. But yeah, this is the 43 from Age of Ultron. This is the 45 from Age of Ultron. Of course, the 44 is the first Hulkbuster. I also like the 45 a lot because, there we go. Can I make it focus? Sorry. And yeah, I'm sorry that this isn't very centered. But I also like this one because it has like the cheekbones, and then it has just normal red printing to make highlights. So yeah, really like that armor as well. And then, all right, and then this is the 46 from Civil War. This is the 47 from Spider-Man Homecoming. And I absolutely love that the 46 and 47 are pretty much the same, but then it looks like Tony just replaced all of the parts that Cap damaged in Civil War with like the silver. And again, I love silver in Iron Man suits, so I really liked that look. This is the 50 from Infinity War, and then of course, the last one is the 85 from Endgame. And I mean, I said that the 42 had the most gold, but the 85 actually has quite a bit of gold in it as well. And it's the only one, as you can see, with actual gold arms. So that's it for the main Hall of Armor, but I still have other Iron Man suits that I couldn't fit in here that I do want to show you guys. All right, so here's a bunch of other Iron Man suits and Iron Man related characters. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with the characters that are not Iron Man, but that are related to him. So first of all, this is Detroit Steel, better known as Justin Hammer. He came in the Detroit Steel Strike set in 2017, and he and the Invincible Iron Man figure that's right there were the first to use this new like flat front helmet. So yeah, again, he's wearing a suit of armor, and there's his head underneath. So I just want to show him off since he's like, you know, associated with these suits. And then here is Iron Skull, which pretty self-explanatory. Red Skull wearing an Iron Man suit. I don't follow a lot of comics lore or like what happens in the TV shows. I think this was based off of one of the shows. But again, he's wearing an Iron Man suit, so he made it into the video. But these are characters that I don't think I would include in my expanded Hall of Armor. This is Iron Venom from actually earlier this year, just from March. And it looks like he's taken over the Square Enix suit from the new Avengers game. Underneath, the same regular Tony head, no Venom head, but the helmet is venomized. This is a figure that I might include in an expanded Hall of Armor because it is actually Iron Man. I mean, yeah, it's Venom too, but it's more of an Iron Man suit than someone like Iron Skull is. All right, and then if I can just move him out of the way, and then the last non-Iron Man character is, of course, Rescue. Now, I don't know how much I've talked about this on this channel, but I absolutely love Rescue, especially her MCU suit. This is one of my favorite minifigures, and again, this is one of my favorite Iron Man suits, if not my favorite in the MCU. And this will definitely be included in an updated Hall of Armor along with the comic book Rescue. I really hope that this has been in focus. If not, that's incredibly embarrassing. But yeah, so I really love this figure. As you can see underneath, just Karina Smith's head from Pirates of the Caribbean that they used for Pepper. No heads-up display or anything, which is slightly disappointing. But I'm excited to see her head in the new Hulkbuster set. I kind of hope it's new, but I kind of think it'll just be a reuse of that same head. And obviously her backpack and wings are really cool. I did try fitting her into one of these Hall of Armor sections, and she would not fit with that backpack on, so I'll probably have to modify her station a little bit. This is the Mighty Micros Classic Iron Man. I might display him in my Hall of Armor. Haven't decided yet. He is a little bit ridiculous with the angry face, but I don't think he's too ridiculous. And then underneath, it's the Mighty Micros Tony face. Let me move that guy out of the way too. This is the Mark 43 from the Hulkbuster Ultron Edition set. I haven't been displaying him in my Hall of Armor just because he's just another version of the Mark 43. He's not a different suit, so I'd feel a little bit weird like having two Mark 43s next to each other. And I do like displaying this with the Hulkbuster. As you can see, the main difference is that he's like missing a chest plate because that gets removed when he like plugs into the Hulkbuster. And underneath there is no Tony head. It's just an empty suit. So I don't know about this one. I'm on the fence about it, but I will have to see. And then this is the Invincible Iron Man figure I've been talking so much about, the first one to use the flat-fronted helmet. I will be including this one because the Square Enix wave of sets is just giving us so many more suits that I'll now have enough to like fill up a little section of like non-MCU suits, which I did not have before. And then this is the first of the Square Enix suits, the main one that's coming in a ton of sets this summer. This is a really well-detailed figure. The only thing I don't like is that his face looks a little bit puffy. I don't like the flat helmet as much as the opening MCU one, but it does look a lot better for sleeker characters like Rescue and like the Square Enix Iron Man. Same heads-up display Tony head. And then the last figure we haven't talked about yet is the Quantum Realm Iron Man suit from Avengers Endgame. This came in a poly bag. And I think I will be including him in my haul. I'd like to just try to cram as many of these figures in as I can in a way that still looks cohesive. So yeah, that's it for now. And then I'm just going to go to the final conclusion and talk about expanding my Hall of Armor. Alright, so thanks for watching this video. Like I said, it's just a little overview of my Hall of Armor and all of the Iron Man minifigures I have. I mostly did this for myself, just because I wanted to go through everything, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Now, as for the expansion plans I'm talking about, I'm really tempted to buy another one of like the $60 Hall of Armor sets from 2019 so I can make a row for War Machine since he's just standing on top of the main hall right now. Because we are getting another War Machine this summer. My only issue with that is that I wouldn't know what to fill the other couple of slots in the row with. I could put the Rescues in there. I don't know, because Rescue is also mark number 49, so I've been considering just putting her in with the main suits. But now that we're getting her comic suit, maybe it would look nice next to her comic one. So yeah, I'm probably just overthinking this. And I also just realized I did not show the Iron Legion suits from Age of Ultron. But I don't think that's a very big deal because they do not matter very much. And they're not like real Iron Man suits, but they are minifigures with the helmets. So yeah, so I'm on the fence about expanding because we are getting another set this summer for $30. And I'm assuming it'll have about 4 of these like armor sections maybe, but I don't know yet because I don't know how I would want to display them. I don't know how I want to display the comic ones with the MCU ones. I mean, I could just keep building them up, but then the comic ones would be on top. So I don't know. I'm just trying to puzzle it through. I think I'll end up buying another 2019 Hall of Armor set to put my War Machines in, and then I'll wait until August to see the new one before I decide to expand it anymore. But rest assured, there will be an expansion video coming out this summer because we are getting like 5 new suits at least, I think. Because we've got the comic book Rescue outfit, we've got Taser and Blazer from the new Avengers Tower, and then I'm assuming the new Hall of Armor will give us at least 1 to 2 new suits. So yeah, that's it for today. Just wanted to show you guys what I was up to with this Hall of Armor thing, because this is something that I've wanted from LEGO for years. And I was really happy when we finally got it and I could finally display all of my suits together. So please comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.